Pick you back up.
Oh yeah, it kicks it right back in. Kicks it
Yeah.
right back in. Fine thing. Hello, Veronica.
How you,
Uh,
how you doing? I'm freezing
Brum,
up now. Why am I freezing now? Come on,
Brumfield, right? Brumfield?
Bromfield. But my screen keep freezing.
Yeah, it froze. It froze.
I can hear and everything. I might have to
Yeah,
switch over to another device.
it'll probably unfreeze in a minute. Welcome to my world.
Nice to see you, Jonathan.
Likewise, good to see you. Now, who else is here? We have Marie Houston is here. Welcome. And we have iPhone Wallace G. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you. And Ida Flowers is here. And Denise Colquitt is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here with us. Hello, Denise Colquitt. Is this your first time here, Denise Colquitt? Yeah, who invited you, Denise?
Veronica and
Veronica.
and Brett Peters.
Yeah, did you see how her voice kind of fell like she said Veronica?
That's because she already knows. I should have done this a long time ago, but
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say, what did she harass you and terrorize you or something?
no, but she should have.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? There are people out there who are not here who want us to harass them to get them here.
Thank you.
And that's a fine thing. So welcome, Denise. We're glad that you came. You've first time. My goodness, that's a wonderful thing.
I just watched that other one. I just told Ronnie. I just watched that other one that you did with the doctor. Like 2 minutes ago, I just finished.
Oh,
I sent her the YouTube. If you subscribe, Denise, you can get all of the meetings. But I sent it to her and told her to watch it.
Okay.
That was from this past Sunday?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Took some notes and everything. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna do that EMF one. That's what I need right now, like yesterday.
You've already targeted in on which one you think you need, huh?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh.
I did rather. Yeah.
That's good. No, we have become convinced that there's something really unusual about what we have. At the very beginning, I made the mistake of thinking it was just some vitamin.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Whew. I've had to eat my crow meat. I don't mind eating crow meat when it's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's a fine thing.
I'll tell you why.
What's that?
I'll tell you why I was a little leery, because I was like, nothing's that good, And then I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, if it's gonna be a lifestyle change, great, then I'll prepare for it. But I don't like to start something and then I can't follow through. So that's one reason why I don't do it, because people sell so much to you, and I'm just like, is this another little gimmick? I don't want to start this and can't finish it. I like to follow through. So.
Yep. I understand, Denise. I understand. I'm the king of blowback and pushback.
Yeah. I need some. I've heard the testimonials and everything, so it's not like, I need to see it.
Yes. Well, that's one of the things that you will see. If you've got an issue going on, you got to change in something, make a real difference in life. So that's what will take place. When I first heard about this product, it's about 7 years ago now, something like that. And a friend of mine, she just said that, listen, there's a couple in town from Utah, and they've got this vitamin that used to be only available to the military. You should talk to them. I said, I'm sorry, Irene, thank you very much, but I don't need a vitamin. I got one.
Yeah.
And what I have is pretty good now. I'm not kidding you. What I have is off the Richter scale. Interesting. But she says, no, you should talk to them. It was only available to the military, and now it's available to the public. Finally, you should listen to them. And the only thing that made me tell them to go ahead and come on over and talk to me was the fact that she, the same woman, Irene, had told me something that literally changed my wife's life. Because turns out my wife she was sensitive to everything, multiple chemical sensitivities, leaky system, 50 pages of allergies. She had all kinds of problems. So every time she lay down to go to sleep, she would be coughing all night long for 45 minutes to 4 hours. I wake up in the morning and she's still sitting up there struggling to breathe.
Oh.
Run to the emergency room and nothing's wrong. So Irene told me about this. It was a probiotic spray that was really good, by the way. And then first time I sprayed it, she slept like a baby. Didn't time that night. And this is going through my head was, Irene hit a home run last time we talked. So just out of respect for Irene, I said, okay, Irene, send them over, but tell them I got 20 minutes now. I mean, out the door and in their truck in 19.
Wow.
So that's how arrogant I was. So Jeff and Helen came over to the house and I invited them in and they got out the car and said, I know you only have 20 minutes. We'll be in our truck in 20 minutes. So I said, this is so embarrassing, but it better be 19 minutes. Came inside and sat down at my dining room table and Jeff had some flip charts. So he going through these flip charts and one of them, I have no idea what he said, Denise. Not a word. Right in this ear, the other side, because ain't nothing in there to hold it. There was nothing in there to hold it. It was going straight out.
Right.
Until I saw the words treatment for diabetes on a US patent. That was game changer. I said, I don't mean to be rude, but Jeff, tell me about that patent right there. I need to know about that. You can skip the whole rest of your presentation. Tell me that. And so he says, who do you know with diabetes? I said, who doesn't have diabetes? He said, give me 4 names. I gave him 4 names and 3 or 4 names, whatever it was, but he overnighted 3 or 4 packages to people. None of them knew each other and none of them knew it was coming. They all tried it because I called them up and told them. And in about a week or so, they all had the same results. Their fasting sugar levels had all dropped.
Wow.
And that was a game changer for me because I had never had anything. Even the vitamin that I thought was the best thing on the planet had that impact on anybody's fasting sugar levels. Nobody. So
I'm gonna try.
It got my attention. And that's what started the whole process for me. So whatever it's going to take for you, whatever you need to do, what you're going to find out is that everything you just heard this past Sunday, 110% true.
All right. Well, I'll let you know. Because I have to go back to my primary in April, 1st of April. So if I get them before then, and then I'll try them. I'll see how it goes.
All right.
But they put me on something new, this thing, Ozempic. So I've been doing that for 2 months. And she said try it for 3 months. So
Ozempic.
Be careful. Be careful with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Jonathan, you're speaking the truth there, my friend. All the things that you just went through.
This is Jeff, the guy that came over for 19 minutes.
Okay. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Denise. Yeah. Be very careful. So there's Ozempic has been used as a weight loss for a lot of famous individuals, some celebrity movie stars, and there's quite some issues getting off of it.
Yeah, that's that diabetes med that people are now repurposing for weight loss. Ugh.
Yeah. There's some horror stories out there. I know we're live on YouTube, and we shouldn't be talking about those things, but you'll find them on YouTube.
Okay. Well, I've only been at, like I say, for 2 months because they said try for 3. So I think, let's see, January, February, that's it. So I only this has just been my 1st month. It's not even been 2 months.
Be careful. Just tread cautiously. And the more the microdata that you get into your system, the better it's going to be.
Okay.
Because now your body can deal with the side effects. You'll be fighting the side effects.
Okay.
And you're going to find yourself, whatever side effects, any medication,
Mm-hmm.
Micro daily will help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress.
Okay.
So you got a better chance of dealing with, almost anything that you're doing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you come back and tell us your story now. Okay.
I will. I will.
I forgot to mention how important it is to drink a lot of water with that too.
Make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Thank you, Jeff,
Okay.
for James for making that comment. But we're gonna have a brief meeting tonight, folks.
Okay.
You've heard part of it already. Part of it was our brief meeting is a discussion there with Denise. So we don't mind you overhearing that because it was very important. And really, these meetings, truth be told, folks, is really designed for those of you who are here for the first time. So a lot of times we don't know that there's someone here brand new, but when we do, it's the same. So our goal is to give a presentation and to provide enough information for whoever is here to be able to make a decision about whatever course you want to take to support what your doctors are trying to do for you. See, so our goal here is not to displace what the doctors are saying at all. That's not our objective. I'm not a medical doctor, so don't do anything I say because I say do it. This is for information and educational and entertainment purposes only. That's what this discussion is all about. The information you can use to take into consideration when making a decision about your health and well-being, what course of action you will take. All the doctors that I've ever interviewed about this subject have said they wish that their patients were more mentally and emotionally involved in their health and well-being. So this gives you an opportunity to do that. It gives you an opportunity to be involved and to do something proactively to support what your doctor's trying to do for you, get you better lives. Can't tell you how many times folks have said, come back here, and they've said, my doctor said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. They look at the labs and say, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. That's a mantra that's been repeated here over and over and over again. So for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones, and today is March the 7th, and it's 2023, and it's just about 10, maybe 17 minutes after 7 Eastern Standard Time. So we have something that we'd like to share with you before we give you a little bit of an explanation as to how and why this product works the way that it works. So Jeff Ashby, the gentleman that somehow crashed through my exterior and determined that for some reason it was worth the effort to deal with me and my arrogance, has a testimonial or two that he can share with us. He's co-hosting, and every time he shows up, anytime he's in the room, it's automatic de facto co-host. Okay, so just understand that. So Jeff, if you've got a testimonial that you can drop on us right now, we're looking forward to it. So please do.
Any particular genre?
Something that might make Denise go, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was here Sunday, so she heard the real interesting ones on Sunday. So Denise, are you curious about something like well, wait a minute, she's talking about Ozempic. So let's see what you got on diabetes here. Let's just go down that road, Jeff.
Let's do it. All right. Here's David.
I'm diabetic. My A1C was in the 12s, which if you're diabetic, that's not a good thing. I am also a high blood pressure person. My blood pressure was out of sight. When I got introduced to this product by Bob and Kathy, I had to have spinal surgery, upper spine, lower spine. Wound up taking no pain meds.
We're twins.
Which I love that because I'm not a pain med guy anyway. My A1C, I took my test just the other day, 5.7. Excuse me. The only thing I'm doing different is micro daily. Nothing else. So I gotta say, it does what they say. And if we don't share it with other folks, shame on us. It's something we need to share.
Well,
Can't
I
can't
don't know.
mix that up at all. I mean, he's pretty sturdy, strong in his own feelings there. So what's happened?
How long did it take him to go from that to that? Because, like I said, I haven't been on that Ozempic except for like a month, and I did tell her that I was not going to take those other things that she was trying to prescribe for me. She asked me that if I'd taken the metformin that she'd given me. I said no, and I told her I wasn't going to take it. And then she tried to give me something else, and I said I'm not going to take that either because I'm not really a pill pusher, but I'm not going to take something. I don't want to get a prescription, and I'm not going to take it. So that's when she said, well, would you like to try this Ozempic? She tried to give me something. Oh my goodness, I can't think of it, for high blood pressure too. And I said, no, not doing that either. I started doing some natural stuff. Like I looked at some beets and some garlic, things like that. So I've been doing lifestyle changes. I started more exercises, and that's about it.
Denise, it varies from body to body, but it's going to be anywhere from. I just kind of counted in threes. We've had individuals that their blood sugar has changed in 3 hours, or 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, and I think this is about 3 months into his experience that he was sharing with you and the surgeries. But it's just nutrition. It's food that is missing from our food.
Right.
So there, you can, if you can consume food and be on your prescriptions, you can consume the micro daily and still be on your prescriptions. Let the doctor work with you as to taking them, taking yourself off, because that's legally we have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but Jonathan's got the goods here. This booklet is going to describe why this product is different than anything else that you've run across, because of the purpose that it was created. If you understand energies and frequencies, the reason something exists out in the market, that purpose behind it lends itself to the effectiveness of it. And this was never designed to be marketed, not to be sold on a store shelf. It was designed to work. And Jonathan's going to go through this booklet and just describe those differences. So,
absolutely. And thank you very much, Jeff. And even though testimonials are presented, just, we always have to say that they're anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So by law, we have to say that. But the person who shared their story believed that what they were saying was truthful. So, but here's what it is. We're talking about daily nutrition. So you made a decision to not necessarily go along with what you were being recommended to do because you're afraid of the side effects of certain medication. Well, just like Jeff just said, we're talking about the food that's missing from food. So that's where this is with this microdaily. And originally the objective was not for it to be, as Jeff mentioned, it was never intended for this to be, something sold commercially as a product that was going to be out there like a Flintstone vitamin or anything like that. That was never the idea. The idea that was that the government decided that they wanted to have something that they could that was good for the military, keep the soldiers on the battlefield, in optimal health. So a little bit of what you heard yesterday kind of explained that to you. I think you got a pretty good earful of that yesterday. And so we're excited that is the case. This is originally the way it started out. It was all about the troops on the battlefield. That was it. And originally the packaging was called military micronutrient formulation. And it was just like you see it there on the screen. That's kind of a reduced version of it, like a thumbnail. But it was all designed to fit right there in the soldier's army fatigue, right there. So they could carry it throughout the day and take 2 of those capsules twice a day. That was the objective. So you can imagine, the government going through the trouble of formulating something easy that could be life-saving or life-impacting for a soldier on the battlefield. It had to be something super, super easy. And that was another thing that got my attention too, Denise and everyone else, was the other formulas that I had, the products that I thought were so phenomenal. They were great, but they took effort. You had to do something to it to make it so that you could ingest it. It was a process. Mix it into something, make it palatable, cook it into something. You had to do something with it. So you were literally putting what I call food from food back in the food. That's really what was happening. But Dr. Prasad really honed this down to something very, very precise and made it so you could have something as simple as this. So this is the timeline of when everything happened. And this is how we know that it will not contraindicate with any known medication because of this part here. In 2004, safety tests were completed. And the safety test was just right here. You can see that. 9 months of rigorous testing by the U.S. Military Internal Review Board. So Dr. Prasad, it was like walking on glass and walking on rice paper and sleeping on a bed of nails. The man really was run through the ringer to prove that his product would not contraindicate with known pharmaceutical drugs. That was their requirement because you got all these military personnel. Who's got time to be sitting around figuring out whether or not this one was taking metformin, or that one was taking insulin, or that one was taking Prozac, or this one was taking that? Which one of them could and could not take this product? The product had to not contraindicate with anything. That's a pretty tall order. But Dr. Prasad delivered. He delivered. And it was 9 months of tests that proved it. He delivered. Human clinical trials were finished. And then finally, everything was over and the product became available. So it wasn't until, sometime after the military decided, for whatever reason, that they were no longer going to continue down that path, that we, the public, got access to this product. It was all trapped in the mind of this man right here, Dr. Kedar Prasad. And if anyone did not hear the presentation yesterday, just get back with whoever invited you here, and they can help you get the presentation from yesterday, because it really was phenomenal. What Dr. Prasad did yesterday, I called it micronutrition for dummies yesterday. He just made it so that it was so simple for all of us laymen to really, really get it. So it was just beautifully presented. So I highly recommend that you go to that. And if you don't have someone that can help you find it, just go to youtubejonathan.com, youtubejonathan.com, and that'll take you right to it. Look for the live recordings and just look for the one from this past Sunday, and you'll be able to hear the entire meeting. Don't be disturbed by the fact that it's almost 2 hours long. The only part of it that matters to you is about the first 45 minutes of it. That's all. Don't worry about that. The last 45 minutes of it is a business meeting. No, it wasn't even a business meeting. It was just a bunch of question and answer session with me and Jeff, as a matter of fact, doing our Q&A for the audience that would not leave. 145 connections and about 15 connections on YouTube. So there was probably somewhere upwards of 300 people that stayed on for the whole Q&A session after the portion of the meeting with Dr. Prasad. So anyway, you'll see his credentials and his accolades right there in front of us. And he met up with David Namelka. The company Engage Global was born, and that became an amazing thing for us. We have access to something that was never intended for the public. This cat got out the bag is basically what happened. It was never intended for the public. We have access to it now. And because we have access to it, we can see that the formulation is not very complicated. You look at that screen and there's nothing really amazing there unless you look real close. You'll see two things here. One of them, vitamin E succinate. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally didn't know that there was more than one kind of vitamin E period. I thought vitamin E was vitamin E, but there's many different kinds of vitamin E. Dr. Prasad is the brilliant scientist who figured out, he knew, by the way, that there was more than one kind. But he's the guy who figured out that one particular kind of vitamin E was cytotoxic to cancer cells, would, oh, by the way, kill cancer cells. And that's what this one is right here, vitamin E succinate. So he didn't just put any vitamin E in this formula, he put the best one. And every single one that he put in this formula, every one of them is powerful and has a very specific purpose in what it does. I love the fact that this one activates nerve 2, and this one activates nerve 2, and this one activates nerve 2, and this one activates nerve 2. Are you trying to figure out what nerve 2 is? Well, do your homework on it. I'm here to tell you that nerve 2 is important. When it comes to anti-aging, you want something that's going to impact your nerve 2, all right? Dr. Prasad put 4 different things in here that would have an impact on nerve 2. He didn't stop there. He also realized that the most important antioxidant is in the body is glutathione. So he made sure that our bodies, we can mute everybody if you want to there. He made sure that we had something in here to elevate glutathione levels in the body. And not only elevate it, he put things in here that would recirculate it, the glutathione levels in our body, to make sure that we had plenty of it. Then maybe he would have some tremendous amount of foresight. He also put components in here that would even grab stuff in our body that didn't belong there. You hear talk about the spike protein connected to, like, say, the COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus. Hear about that spike protein and how it lodges in the brain and different parts of our organs. Well, guess what? All of these things bind to spike protein. Yeah, that's right. They have an impact. So antioxidants here, but especially this one here has clinical studies done on it. And this has clinical studies done on it. And so does CBD, binds to spike protein. Pretty amazing. And this was all formulated long before COVID-19 came on the scene. It's an amazing product, amazing formulation. It's the only one that adheres to the special CQF standard. If it doesn't have this seal on it, then quite frankly, I would question the value of it. This seal right here sets it off, puts it in a whole different category. So you can get a copy of this brochure from whoever invited you to this presentation. I just asked them to either give you the hard copy or to send you this digital copy. And then you can go and take a closer look at everything that's in this. And take your time with it. Take your time, because there's things here that I'm not even talking about, but that if you spent a little time drilling down, you would simply be blown away. Denise mentioned that from yesterday's presentation, she came on the screen and said, I think I'm going for that EMF, that microdaily EMF formula. That's the one I think I want, just based off what she heard yesterday. Smart move, Denise, because guess what? It turns out that the cell phone technology today, which is 5G, 700 times more powerful than the original cell phone technology. 700 times. That wasn't even mentioned yesterday. You have plenty of reason, ample reason to choose this based off the discussion yesterday, but add this to the argument. Add this to the reasons, valid justification for going with microdaily EMF. Dr. Prasad added 4 more ingredients, including what he talked about yesterday, that resveratrol. Added it to the original formula because of its ability to act as an antioxidant, do all kinds of beneficial things in the body, but not the least of which have an impact on the mitochondria, producing elevated amounts of energy as well. So I thought it was kind of nice to hear that yesterday too. It was kind of a new thing for me. CBD is extremely good. There's a clinical study, by the way. CBD, CBG, CBA bind the spike proteins in the body. So good thing to have. So, and this is one of my favorite now, Brain Boost. I told James as soon as we got on the screen here that I had to grab one of those a couple hours ago just to kind of kick my brain back into gear. My brain was slipping into neutral. You know how your transmission, if you have depending on the kind of car you drive, if your car can slip back into neutral instead of in drive, well, mine was trying to slip back into neutral there. So I took that Brain Boost, boy, kicked it right back into drive. and then the overdrive button got pushed, and the turbo button got pushed. So that brain boost is very good. And you can see some of the benefits over here on this side of the screen. So I'm just kind of talking right now, but extremely, extremely powerful. Okay. The eye boost, outstanding as well. But the last thing I want to tell you about is what I mentioned at the very beginning. And I don't know if you remember, Denise, but I told you about this patent that Jeff showed me. Actually, it was on his flip chart. And when I saw these words right here, micronutrient formulation for the treatment of diabetes, I was done. I was done. But this is the patent right here. And so I didn't wait for Jeff to send me a copy of that. I Googled US patent 7605145. And I hunted it down. I found it. I downloaded the PDF version of it, not from Engage Global, not from anybody. I just went online, and that patent exists. And it has in the title, micronutrient formulations for treatment of diabetes mellitus. Now, mind you, by law, we cannot make any claim that Micro Daily or any other nutritional supplement will treat diabetes or any other medical condition. That's not what we're saying at all. So please don't misunderstand what I'm saying right now. But also by law, I'm allowed to tell you that that patent exists and that that's the title of that patent. So it's okay for me to tell you that. So consider yourself informed that that exists. And that's based off the original foundation formula that currently is also just so happens to be in Micro Daily. It just so happens that same formula has been packed into this bottle right here. What a coincidence, huh? So nice. These are just some of the books that Dr. Prasad has written. This is 29 of them. He is now currently up to 32, and he's working on his 33rd book. And not this Sunday, but next Sunday, we'll be talking to him about some of the work that he's doing on his 33rd book. Major new research on the subject of diabetes that he's going to be presenting to us. So, Denise, if you know anybody that's got issues with their A1C or their sugar levels, you want to make sure that they're on the meeting. They can come this coming Sunday also, but especially the following Sunday. You want to make sure that they're there for that discussion. Okay, so there it is in a nutshell. That's the abbreviated version of what Micro Daily is and why everybody should consider adding it to your diet. It's not a drug. It's not a medicine. It is the food that's missing from our food. Somebody engineered it out. And one of the most brilliant scientists in the world encapsulated it and now has given it back to us. The food that's missing from our food. So let's see if we can dig up one more testimonial, and we'll take a couple of your questions. I know some of you have some questions, and we need to break off kind of early to make it to other meetings. Some of these evenings now, we got meetings on top of meetings these days. But let's see if we can't dig up another one here that might also very well illustrate how patent number 7605145 was no fluke, and that is really happening, and wasn't just a one-off. What you got that can show us it wasn't a one-off, Jeff?
Yeah, I was just going through some of my my library where I just Jonathan, you going through the science booklet is just amazing. I love how you do it. Just take that page by page, and what's so significant about that is you don't have to be as smart as you are. You're basically just reading and underlining and scribbling on some of those pages. It's like, what?
Crayon. That's all.
But really, you've just demonstrated how easy this is to share with somebody else. You can buy a packet of 10 of these for $12, and it's 32 pages worth of information that you don't have to be the expert on. You just have to just basically point, read, and then tell your story about it. And so yeah, Denise is going to have a great experience, and then she won't be able to shut up, and she'll tell her story to everybody. And that's what I'm looking at here, is just some other stories that that people have shared, whether it was in front of the room or whether it was on a Zoom like this.
I got to share one with you from last Thursday. I can't remember her name right now, but she came on, and I couldn't stop talking fast enough. She had to get that story out. She had to get it out, and then she says, "Well, I can't afford this, but I'm gonna have to just start. I'm gonna skip food." She said, "I'm gonna skip food because I will never stop taking these vitamins."
Yeah, it's they are that powerful. Here's one that we haven't seen for a little while, and along with diabetes comes some peripheral neuropathy and some issues with our extremities. And so, why don't we share Daryl Singleton here really quickly? Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just tell you a little experience. Bernard came to me and told me, I was out of breath a lot, losing air, couldn't speak that well because I was grasping for air. And then I had a lot of swelling, especially in my legs and feet. And it was hard to get him. So Bernard came with this stuff and told me, Daryl, you gotta try this out and take about 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. So I told him I would do it. I was skeptical about it, but my feet started going down, and all the swelling went out of the feet, and they were kind of like black, the feet, and the color came back in the feet. The feet shrunk down, and then my legs started going down, but I started feeling a lot of tingling in my hands, because I had real big huge hands because of the swelling.
Wow.
All that started going down. What I've been noticing at first was my voice. I was able to speak and, complete a sentence because I wasn't doing else, so that kind of slowed me down. But other than that, everything, feet and swelling been going down. I've been able to walk. I would go to the grocery store and couldn't make it to the door. That's how bad it was. Now I'm able to walk around the grocery store and do what I need to do. I'm taking care of my triplets. I got triplets, grandkids that I stay with 3 times a week, and I take care of them. I couldn't even lift them up. And I'm a big guy, but I don't know, these things have been happening since I've been taking the stuff, and I'm impressed myself because I'm here talking to you without stressing out.
Wow, Daryl, that's amazing. What's your diagnosis? What does the doctor diagnose you with, if you don't mind sharing?
No, I haven't. I hadn't been back to the doctor to explain this. I will be going there, but I don't know what they're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff works. We're real skeptical. I'm still feeling a little tingling in the hands and feet, but they actually went down. But I still feel like tingles. It's telling me something's working, something's happening.
Yeah, certainly.
Jonathan, sorry to cut you off there, but you know what? You go on to explain, circulation is happening. That's what goes on. I mean, you lay on your arm wrong, or you cross your leg and it goes to sleep, and then when the blood starts to flow again, you get those tingles, and it's
his body was coming back to life. The man's body was coming back to life again, all because he went from malnourished to finding the food that was missing from food. So he was actually finally getting nourishment for the first time in a long time. It's kind of amazing.
It really is. In fact, I've Jonette, because she's got a presentation happening here in about 15 minutes with Dr. Prasad,
Yeah.
and they're going to be going through diabetes and some of the things just as a precursor to kind of building up for your Sunday. But I've put together several other videos of neuropathy, of stroke, of all of those things that go along that have so much to do with circulation.
Yep.
And so,
Well, that's going to be interesting. So, folks, why don't you put the link in the chat, Jeff, so that anybody who wants to join.
yeah, and you'd
can
think
find-
I'd know how to do that.
Well, let's.
I'll, you know, I'll do that. Just gotta,
It'll show up here in a minute, folks. So hang on, don't worry about it. We'll take a couple of your questions as long as we got a few minutes here, because in about 5 minutes we're going to be jumping off, maybe 10. But so if you have any questions, anybody, go ahead and just raise your digital hand, and we'll answer your questions. One of the most common questions that has come up is, how do I get this stuff? And that's the easiest one of all. So I like to start with the easy ones to warm you guys up. Just go back to the person who invited you, and they'll help you set up your own subscription for the product. A subscription is the best way because you get discount on it that way. You can buy retail if you want and just buy it 1 month at a time. And you can say, well, let me see what it does for me. But listen to me carefully. You can go on subscription and you can pause your subscription. Okay. So you can pause the subscription. I'm just giving you the best advice I possibly can, but get a subscription. If you decide you want to skip a month, just call up and pause your order. Do not spend any more than you have to. So you can pay full price if you want. I mean, if that's your choice, do that. But I'm encouraging you to agree to a subscription and just pause it when you don't want it to come for a month or two. After I think the third or fourth month, they just consider you don't want it anymore, and that's fine. That's your option. But you can still get the cheapest price by choosing to have a subscription, a monthly subscription to the product. Okay. And as James mentioned earlier, then you want to make sure that you drink plenty of water, because the toxins in your body, they want out. They're going to want to find a pathway out, and they will tend to go to the weakest part of your body. So you want to give them, use water and let that be the pathway out, because whatever does not belong in your body needs to go out through the front or through the back. So help it do that. So Marie Houston has a question she'd like to ask. Go ahead, Marie. And don't forget to unmute. There you go.
Actually, I don't have a question. I wanted to make a comment on the diabetes. Just as recently as yesterday, I'd like to tell Miss Denise that I'm 72 years old, number one. I have type 2 diabetes. I have hypertension, regular heartbeat, and also arthritis. I'm going to make this quick. Now, I did have surgery on my left breast in October, and I'm going to tell you what my doctor said to me after I went back from the breast surgery. It was infection in there. They cleared all that out. And when I went back for my checkup, they were amazed at how I had healed up. And I took my products with me, the EMF, the collagen, the probiotic, and the boost, and all of that, eye boost, brain boost. Okay, I wanted them to know what I was taking. And they looked at it and said, this is some good stuff. Okay. Now, that was one thing. And they told me, hey, take it. That's some good stuff. Matter of fact, I got a couple of them's email to Zoom in on our Zooms. Okay. After that, okay, I got blood work done about 2 weeks ago. And I've gotten 2 blood work reports, one from my medical doctor concerning